Thank you for staying. I know that it's late. I'm gonna try to do this in 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So bear with me. Outside it's cold, and I hope you like this. Actually, the name of this is the creation of incomplete stories, and I think that we are all talking about, you know, the importance of having the people as active participants in our stories, but in my opinion and my experience, most of the ideas, I've been in 5 juries in this Eurobest, and very few ideas really give room for the people to be part of the idea. That's why I think that we should be creating stories, incomplete stories, that needs the participation of people in order to be a complete story. Otherwise, you know, if people are not doing something with our ideas, it's not going to be simple to engage them. It's not just about playing with technology. We can do very funny and interesting things about technology, but we need to have an idea, and we need to really have give the people out there the opportunity to be part of the story and to complete the story. So sorry for my English. It's not my mother tongue. I'm Argentinian. I speak Spanish. So I really don't like English, but it's the only way to talk to people. So let me just put one example in order to understand what we are talking about with this. It's a very well-known example. Probably you have seen this before. Can we see the first one? Finger crossed that it works.
Di un partito d'arti, lo Schnure.
Ti prego, fammi sta cortesia. Cioè, ti prego, volevo
protagonists of the story. You know, without these guys, there's no story. And of course, this could be for a funny thing like this, or for a much more deeper thing like the next examples. Heineken is from our office in Italy, and pretty well known. A lot of awards around the world, 10 Lions in Cannes, and I think that this is in a way, you know, the way to go forward. The next example is from our office in New York. It's a very little expression of what I'm talking. So let's see the next case, please. The only thing that I'm just trying to find in the creative ideas now is what kind of thing can I do with it. I'm not interested at all in the ideas that put me as a spectator, you know. I want to touch the shelf, you know. I want to do something. I'm not approving ideas without this very simple concept. You know, if I am not allowed to touch the idea, to do something with the idea, I'm not interested. So basically, I think that when you are following this path, you can really put, you know, a lot of very different things in action. You know, and the next case is another charity, a pretty well-known charity, the Salvation Army, and as you can imagine, you know. In Argentina, it is from Argentina, it's something that the Salvation Army is starting to do all over the world because they love the idea, and it's not easy to connect this client, this brand, with young people, because young people are not really very close to the Salvation Army. You're going to see the guy from the Salvation Army talking about the case in a very funny uniform, but let's see the idea and then we can make some.
The Salvation Army of Argentina had been quiet for a very long time, and it was disappearing from the people's heads when they had to make donations. But something was even more alarming than that.
¿Saben lo que es el Ejército de Salvación? No.
For most young adults, the brand was simply unknown.
No tengo idea.
A traditional communication campaign required an investment in media the Salvation Army could never afford. We needed to find a strong proposal to revert that trend. We chose fashion and created a brand, Señor Amor, the new voice of the Salvation Army, to start relating with the youth. The Salvation Army receives all kinds of donations, but mainly clothes. We asked the most prestigious designers of the country to use those clothes as the starting point to generate Señor Amor first collection. Martín Churba, Pablo Ramírez, Mariano Toledo, Hermanos Esteve Corena, and Rosena were the 5 designers who joined the project, donating time and talent. The first step was selecting the pieces of clothes in the warehouses of the Salvation Army that would be used as the starting point of the new collection. When the pieces were ready, specialized photographers were called for the making of the fashion production. The brand was launched at the Ponencia Cultural Center with a fashion parade that had over 1,200 spectators. The entire process of creation of Señor Amor was fully covered by the exclusive channel FTV for a documentary that was broadcasted in all Latin America.
La moda está muy vinculada con la solidaridad también.
Señor Amor picked up the attention of the press and was news of the specialized media and the most prestigious national newspapers. 1 month after its launch, the brand was called to participate at the Bath Week, the most important fashion event of Argentina. After Señor Amor, the Salvation Army doubled the units in charge of collecting donations.
Los llamados con Señor Amor aumentaron en un 20% aproximadamente. La calidad de la mercadería y cantidad de donaciones de un 25% y un 30% en ventas. Hemos visto un crecimiento en nuevos públicos que se han sumado, donde el 60% corresponde a gente joven entre 20 y 35 años.
But that wasn't the end of the project. It was only the start. Señor Amor will be part of the program of the career of fashion design of the universities of Buenos Aires and the world. The students will be in charge of designing the next collection, an unmatched opportunity for them to insert themselves in the market. Señor Amor has already contacted prestigious industrial designers to interview the objects donated to generate design pieces that will be commercialized at the Malva stores. Señor Amor is also in the process of calling local musicians who, using the donated records and discs, will create their own versions of the songs of their choice that will be sold to the audience on the web. Señor Amor is a brand of the Salvation Army that has the goal of generating something that's more important than profit, making the younger generations aware of the importance of solidarity.
The next example is something that we are doing with Corona all over Europe with a campaign that is called Save the Beach, and the whole thing is about keeping the beaches around Europe in better shape. They are full of garbage, and it was a pretty successful campaign, but people were not paying enough attention. So this is something that we did in Madrid with our Madrid office, and we thought what kind of thing we can do in order to make these people really pay attention to the problem that we are having in the beaches around Europe. So we did the first ever garbage hotel. So let's see the next one.
2 years ago, we started working on the Corona Save the Beach project. The aim was to preserve the environment that had given us so much. We collected 12 tons of garbage from Europe's coastline, but still some refused to listen. So we thought, they may not care about the environment, but they do care about something: vacations. Introducing the world's first garbage hotel.
Hotel made from rubbish has opened its doors in Rome. Primo albergo al mondo fatto solo di rifiuti con 10 posti letto.
¿Os hospedaríais en un hotel fabricado con basura? It's made up of old toys, mannequins, legs, tomates, cans, una regadera, exhaust pipes y hasta un logo de jardín.
We commissioned the famous artist of trash, H.A. Schultz, to build it. It didn't have a VIP area, but it had VIP guests. And we were fully booked in hours. The results? 0 happy guests, no recommendations to friends, elected worst place for holidays in the world, and tons of people aware of this big problem.
just talking about participation offline, right? Real physical participation, because we are living the online era, definitely, and there is a way to participate in the ideas that is definitely online. But again, it's not just about playing with technology and these kind of things that could be cool and funny and interesting, but not really, not necessarily making any statement about what the brands thinks about reality. So the next example is something that we did in Puerto Rico, in San Juan, and it's an interesting way to use technology in a much more deeper way. Can we see the next one?
The Central American and Caribbean Games, the region's most important sports competition, an event celebrated every 4 years, and this year in our own home, Mayagüez, Puerto Rico. For 4 years, Puerto Rico prepared to welcome 32 countries, 5,204 athletes, and 50 attention-hungry sponsors. Gatorade wanted a piece of the action. Gatorade is known for its use of sports technology, using it to reach inside the bodies of star athletes to create the highest quality performance sports drinks. We decided to use Gatorade's technological strength to go beyond the physical, to go where no sponsor can go, inside an athlete's emotions. No athlete can bring more emotion to millions of Puerto Ricans than Jose Juan Marea, NBA player for the Dallas Mavericks, star of Puerto Rico's basketball team, and delegate chosen to carry our national flag. We placed an innovative strap on Marea's chest that measured his heartbeat, respiration, temperature, and activity, and assigned his heartbeat an emotional meaning. We transmitted these vitals live through television, internet, and mobile during the game's most emotional moments. Gatorade will use its technology to go further than ever, inside the heart of Puerto Rico. Follow Marea's heartbeat live during the opening ceremony at yosoy10035.com. We partnered with the network that had exclusive rights to the games. They promoted and aired Marea's vitals live while he carried the flag. A crowd burst with enthusiasm when their delegation marched in. And just like Marea, felt excitement when they saw their flag. But Marea didn't just carry the flag. He also carried the national basketball team to win the gold medal. During the medal ceremony, Marea once again wore our innovative device. It showed that Marea's heart was filled with pure euphoria. His feelings were transmitted live for a second time through television, internet, and mobile. Gatorade created more buzz than any sponsor during the games. It even created a new name for Marea, the heart of Puerto Rico. With his team and talent, Marea won gold. With Gatorade, a whole island felt his heart.
In some cases, we don't even need to do anything. I mean, we just need to be at the right time, in the right place. And we are running this brand called Kit Kat with a very famous line, probably one of the most what the brand stands for. So we are trying to find opportunities to really contact people when they are having or when they are doing something that is not that exciting. So that's the next example. What was the next?
Chatroulette.com is the latest internet phenomenon to take the world by storm. With 4 million users a month, it's a chat room that randomly connects you to a stranger somewhere in the world. But as you've got no control over who pops up, You can spend hours on the site, clicking from one person to the next, and not find anyone normal to talk to. Because the user experience can sometimes be quite boring, we saw an opportunity to encourage people to have a break. We rigged a webcam to show a board which simply read, "Have a break, have a Kit Kat," and recorded the live reactions of people being randomly connected to it through the chat room. Chatting to 17,000 people a day, users were getting the message within moments and thinking twice about how they were spending their time.
And of course, we are still doing TV commercials. And the festival asked me, can you show some TV commercials? Because, you know, beyond all these cases with this online, offline participation, we still need to use that medium. And it's a pretty challenge medium, if I have to say, because, you know, a 30-second story, it's really puts you in the position of a spectator, and just to grab the attention of this, of the audience, because there you have an audience, you know, you really need to go beyond things. In some cases, beyond the tone of voice that you are using. The next example is one thing that we did in Bangkok, and I think it's showing a very peculiar sense of humor that Thai people have in advertising. Can we see the first one?
ซื้อเสื้อใหม่ให้เอาป่ะครับคุณไม่ทราบเลยครับผลจากการตรวจคุณเป็นมะเร็งครับมะเร็งลูกเมียลำบากแต่ถ้าคุณทำประกันชีวิตพร้อมฝากคุ้มครองเพิ่มเติมเราจ่ายเอาเกณฑ์ได้ไหมแต่ถ้าเป็นโรคหัวใจเราก็จ่ายแต่ถ้าคุณไตวายเราก็จ่ายครับเมืองไทยประกันชีวิตแต่ถ้าเป็นโรคสมองอักเสบกันเราจ่ายไม่เมืองไทยยินไปอยู่คุ้มครองสิ่งโรคร้ายแรงจ่ายแล้วจ่ายอีกสูงสุด 400% เมืองไทยประกันชีวิต
Of course, it's not easy to have a client that is that open-minded to do these kind of things. But honestly, I think that we need to really work with our clients, you know, to convince them that if they are not open to do stuff like this, they are throwing the money when they are doing television, you know. And even if it's one of the most boring categories on earth, that I'm going to show some examples of these kind of very boring categories with very boring messages. We need to find a way to make the whole thing much more interesting. The next example is something that we did for a diaper in New York. So can we see the blue diaper? And even for Walmart, you know, we have Walmart as a client in Argentina, and they asked us to make a TVC for a special promotion that they have. And when we presented this campaign, I'm just going to show one example of the campaign. They were like, "Are you sure that we can do these kind of things?" It's a joke, come on. I mean, it's important to have this kind of complicity with your client in order to really, you know, especially when you are communicating an offer, if you really want people to pay attention to an offer in 30 seconds, you need to be brave or open enough to try kind of new things. So let's see one.
Este día de niño se encuentra Walmart ahorra dinero al criminal.
And the last example are 3 TV exhibitions that we did for a tampon brand. And again, it's a pretty challenging category, You girls know that most of tampon advertising is just bullshit, right? And the interesting thing that for the very first time, a brand was brave enough to accept that. And the beauty of this idea is that in the production of the idea, the images that you're going to see in some cases are footage from previous Kotex campaigns. So the client was that open-minded to even make jokes about themselves. So let's see in a row the 3 last.
How do I feel about my period? We're like this, I love it. I get this urge to twirl, maybe in slow motion. And I do it in my white spandex. The ads on TV are really helpful, because they use that blue liquid, and I'm like, oh, that's what's supposed to happen.
You wear Kotex, and you line a tampons, pads, and liners.
Can I talk about my period? Of course, but since this is a TV commercial, I'll have to use confusing metaphors. If I want to explain where tampon goes, I can't say a word that rhymes with the serious medical condition, angina. But I can talk about going down under, so long as down under definitively refers to Australia. But that makes no sense. No, it doesn't. Let's talk about these pretty seashells. I love seashells.
You wear Kotex, and you line a tampons, pads, and liners.
I'm a believably attractive 18 to 24-year-old female. You can relate to me because I'm racially ambiguous. And I'm in this tampon commercial because market research shows girls like you love girls like me. Don't all these angles make me seem dynamic? Now I'm going to tell you to buy something. Buy the same tampons I use because I'm wearing white pants and I have good hair. And you wish it could be me.
You wear Kotex, and you line a tampons, pads, and liners.
So basically, I think at the end is just having, for your brand an idea, tone of voice, personality. If we as human beings, we have a personality, why brands are not having a personality, a way of talking? I did ads for 10 years, and we did some really stupid things, and only because it was for us, people really engage with that stupid stories. So it's having a personality, having an idea, having a personality, and then we can use all the things, all the media that we have available, and we can really play with all the technology. Without having this, and without creating this kind of stories where people can really be part of the story and touch the stuff, we are just playing with technology. And I think that this is something that most of the brands are doing. So technology is not the difference nowadays. So thank you. I promised 20 minutes. It took me 25. Thank you.